The givers and the takers. Henry Drummond once said, "There is no happiness in having or getting, but only in giving." During your life you will interact with basically two types of people, givers and takers. Which of these two groups of people you decide to spend your time with will determine just what kind of person you are. Let's look at both. The takers. A great deal of our world is filled with these kinds of people. These are the folks who expect you to do things for them. They expect to be treated nice. They expect you to run after them. They expect you to devote the majority of your conversation listening to them about what they have to say about themselves. They expect you to be interested in what's happening in their lives. They expect that you won't want much from them because they don't feel like giving much. And once you stop being interested in them, they become uninterested in you and move on to someone else who will give them the attention they crave. The givers. Think of them as the rare group of people who are the most successful on the planet. Sure, some takers can be very successful, but their success lasts for only a short time. Not only that, they can never be truly happy or successful because they are so consumed by getting that they never developed the mindset to give to others, help others, and enjoy the success they have. These people have never learned one of the greatest laws of success. You must first give before you can get. The givers are those who freely give their time to help others become the best they can be. They don't see through others, they see others through. Whether it's good times or bad, the givers are there to help. Givers are excellent listeners. They know most people will talk about themselves for much of the conversation, but that doesn't matter. Givers enjoy listening and learning. They seem to understand that our Creator gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we will listen twice as much as we talk. Whenever givers speak, it's because they have something to say, a word of encouragement, a laugh to cheer others up. Their words are well-placed and well-intentioned, and they accomplish exactly what the giver wants them to. The lesson to be learned is, remember the old saying, talking is sharing, but listening is caring. People will give you whatever it is you want if they first know you care about them and are willing to help them. It is true that people don't care how much you know until they first know how much you care. The motivational speaker Zig Ziglar said it best. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. Being a giver is one wonderful way to do that. Now let's talk about something called the magnet of attraction. James Allen once said, "Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are." It's been said that we attract those people in our lives whose ideas and beliefs are similar to our own. How true. Still, many people wonder why they always seem to find themselves in unpleasant relationships and business dealings while they're totally convinced they couldn't possibly attract those kinds of people and problems. Let's look at a few of these kinds of people. I call them the drainers, and if you're not careful, they'll suck the life right out of you emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially. The pump-me-uppers. These are the people who constantly need to be coached. They often feel more down than they are up. They tend to focus more on problems than solutions. Their conversation tends to be about events of the past, rather than dreams of the future. The lookers. Outwardly, these are some of the most beautiful people around. However, inwardly it's a whole different story. The old saying, "Pretty is as pretty does," is so true. These folks are really into their appearance to a degree that it becomes an obsession as to what clothes they wear, what car they drive, what job they have, what house they live in, and what kind of lucky recipient gets to be in a relationship with them. The expectors. You can never do enough for these people. Not only do they expect you to be there for them emotionally and physically whenever they want, but when you're not, they become upset and blame you for being selfish. The abusers. Guilt and physical abuse are the 2 biggies for these people. They're masters at making you feel like dirt, turning their problems into yours, and playing with your emotions and life like you're a puppet on a string. They should also be called the withholders because whatever relationship they're in is on their time schedule and on their terms. The uncommunicators. These folks want you to feel sorry for them. They pretend like they can't open up. But the reality is that in more situations than not, they've found that keeping quiet about their feelings causes others to feel doubt about themselves and the relationship, and actually serves to pull their partner closer. Seems that not knowing how the other feels causes many people to try doubly hard to break the ice and try to help their unemotional partner over their perceived temporary problem. The neglectors. These are the people who love when you do things for them. Yet when it comes time for you to receive love and affection back, they give only a little, if at all. Their primary motivation and concern is how you can make them feel good. And wouldn't you know it, it's never quite the right time for them to talk to you and hug you the way you need those things. Yet many keep giving to the neglectors in the hopes that one day the neglector will finally pay them back with interest. That someday never seems to come. The fixers. These folks need you, and that makes you feel great. The problem is they need you to fix their problems and help them get their life in order. Many of these people grew up in families where they never had a good role model for relationships. Most of their growing years were in families whose major focus was dealing with issues and problems to the exclusion of building positive, loving, accepting, and unconditional relationships. What many of these fixers do is find someone with a clean slate, the person with a well-balanced and happy life, then write their problems all over the other person's clean slate. The one with the clean slate is left frustrated and confused because to them the relationship is unhealthy, unhappy, and unfulfilling. After all, sure, there will always be problems we must deal with, but dealing with those problems all the time and making that the focus of the relationship, there's got to be something better. Yet to the fixer, unless there are problems and issues in the relationship to always talk about and deal with, the relationship just doesn't feel right and something's wrong. So the fixer pulls away physically, emotionally, and spiritually until the partner with the clean slate decides enough is enough and finally ends the relationship. Not a problem for the fixer. They simply turn on the deceptive charm, make the next person in their life feel needed and wanted, and allow the endless cycle to continue.